Hi guys, welcome back to Starship. This is MJ Darling, your host and captain. Today we're going to be talking about music production and some of the steps involved. There's been a lot of you guys that have been asking about getting caught up in production. You know, I got my DAW of choice, a DAW which is a digital audio workstation. I've got my DAW of choice. I've got everything working, and I'm picking out beats, or I'm picking out sounds, and I'm starting out with this synth, and I'm trying to get the synth just right before I put it in. And you know, you guys be careful, because you can spend a lot of time, and I do mean a lot of time, putting the cart before the horse. You could say you can get stuck in production. You can get stuck and crack up. Because you know, maybe you're concentrating on the drum line, or maybe you're concentrating on a synth or some type of element, and you don't know to break everything down in phases, so you fixate on one part, and you know, you'll spend an entire night on getting the synth perfect on a song that technically still doesn't exist. So what you do is you have to break production down into phases. I have 6 phases that I like to use. One phase is the composition phase. In composition phase, I'm going in with barely a preconceived notion of anything. I'm just having fun and throwing sound noodles up against the sound wall to see what sticks. You know, if it's something that really catches my attention, if it's something that really, you know, that I feel like I can do something with, I'll put it in the composition. But you don't have to be absolutely in love with every sound that you put into the composition as of yet. The main idea of the composition phase is to be able to put together the song quickly before you lose it. So go ahead and dump the sounds in. It's okay if the synth is not absolutely perfect. It's okay if the drum isn't necessarily what you want. You can always replace those sounds later in production. Okay. The next part of production is recording. If you have your voice, or if you have a vocalist, or if you have elements, live instrumentation, or anything like that that needs to be recorded, this would probably be the phase to do so. You have your backing track that you built in your compositional phase. So in the recording phase, you get a chance to lay a demonstrational version of what needs to happen. Now, if you can take it the whole way, take it the whole way. But you know, sometimes the song is still in its rudimentary phase of composition, so you don't necessarily know where you're going to ad-lib, you don't know how it's going to go, so you're still kind of feeling things out. Don't worry, you can always change it in the next phase. Scrubbing and processing. Okay, so let's say, for instance, you've got vocals that you've recorded, and you do a couple of layers, and you want them stacked, and some of the syllables aren't lining up. Some syllables are, and some syllables aren't. So you're going to separate these little bits and pieces of the words or phrases and scoot them to where they need to go. Because, you know, it isn't always 100% every time you record. So, you know, the engineer gives it just a little bit of a touch. My 4th step is retouch development. As you're building, and as you're nudging, and as you're moving things around in the track, you're going to start to find the parts that you were missing before in basic composition. You're going to go ahead and tweak that synth. You're going to go ahead and get the perfect kick, or nudge the beats into the perfect rhythm that you need to go on to the next phase, which is mix down. After you have everything else finished, you know how everything should sound. It sounds that way. You know how the vocals or your recordings should be laid. They're laid in perfectly. Now you're up to the point where you're not doing any more in composition. Stop moving that stuff around. Stop it. Okay? I know. It just needs a little, stop it. This is the time for mix down. In mix down, you take all of the different parts that you've developed and you solidify them in a sonic field of space, because all of your sounds are basically going to start off in the middle. But you don't want all of your sounds in the middle. You want them spaced out. You know, you want your bass in the middle. You know, maybe your drum is offset a little bit, and your piano's over there, and your guitar's over here, and then maybe you got your background vocalist at here and here at 50%, but you know your lead vocals is offset on the other side just of the drums. You see how that works? So when you close your eyes and you're listening to your composition, you can point to where all of the instruments are. Okay? But in mix down, this is the last chance to have everything sound the way that it's supposed to sound, as clear as everything is supposed to sound. So you go through each and every element and you tweak the EQs. This is the last time you're going to be able to make any changes right before the last phase, which is mastering. Mastering. Ha! Mastering is the most elusive and the most difficult to understand, but is really quite elementary when you think about it. They say that you should never master your own tracks, which is for the most part true if you don't know what you're doing. Because what's happening is, after you've mixed everything down, you still have about 6 decibels of airspace. We call that headroom. The person that masters a track has a specific panel of EQs, compressors, and filters that allow you to very carefully remove the headroom so that it can be as loud as it can be, and it can be not only as loud as it can be, but as clear as it can possibly be. This is where, as good as you think your composition sounds, once it's been mastered, it's going to sound so much better, so much richer, so much fuller, and have so much more impact. Some say that you can't master your own tracks. If you can have someone else master them, if you can pay for someone else mastering them, do it. But don't be afraid to tackle that headroom yourself, as I do. But I also keep my pre-master, which is the last render before your final master. But I also keep my pre-masters handy just in case I'd like for someone else to master them and to, I guess, well, outclass my own mastering job. So, all in all, these are the 6 steps in production. You have composition, recording, scrubbing and processing, retouch development, mix down, and mastering. And by the end of these 6 steps, you should have a pretty formidable product. I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial, and if you guys have enjoyed it, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Oh yeah, but most importantly, share, because that's how our Starship flies. Oh, whoa, wait. We always like to include an article with the vlog. If you're interested in music production and the different phases in it, there's links to our website where you can read and watch, just like television, a media-rich article that we wrote on the subject. So be sure to click in on that. Alright, I'm MJ Darling, this is Starship, and we will see you next time. Peace.